Now that we've calculated the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile for each of our each of our four quantitative categories, we can move on and work on the frequency distribution. So we can draw, or we can have a histogram for us. Okay. Well, we're just going to work with our run data, and if we're going to set up these classes, we need to know our smallest value and our largest value so that we can understand how wide each of the 5 classes need to be to include everything. So let's just use this function in Excel, the minimum function, min, and we have everything from K2 to K41 in that function. So the minimum value is 3.12, and the max, again, the range is K2 to K41. Max on that is 6.75. So all of our data between 3.12 and 6.75 is going to have to fit into these 5 classes. So each class, just writing that down, let's take the difference. Let's take the difference, put in parentheses 6.75 minus 3.12. That difference, and let's divide it by 5. And so that's going to give us the width of each class. So 0.727. Well, let's round that up. Let's slide that over. 0.73. Okay. So our smallest data value for the run is 3.12 hours. The largest is 6.75. If we divide that difference up into 5, then we've got each class 0.73 wide. So here, let's do this. The first one starts at 3.12. Then the next one would be at 3.12 plus 0.73. So we're going to add 0.73, and that's going to tell us where the second class starts. The third class is going to be 3.85 plus 0.73. So the third class is going to start at 4.58. Then the fourth class is going to start at 4.58. Sorry, the fourth class is going to start at plus 0.73. And the fifth class is going to be up at 3 higher, 6.04, but we're going to have to figure out how wide that one is. So equals 6.04 plus 0.73. Boom. Okay. Yeah, 6.77. That's high enough to catch our largest one of 6.75. All right, we're good. So 3.12 is where our minimum is. We went up 0.73 from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so our top class is going to end at 6.7. Let's go 6.76. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where we're starting. Let me just slide over here. The first class is going to be 3.12 all the way up to, and if the second one's starting at 3.85, let's take this one up to 3.84. Then 3.85 up to 4.57. Then 4.58 up to 5.30. And 5.31 up to 6.03. And then 6.04 up to 6.76. This way, all of our 5 classes are exactly the same width, which is what we want in a histogram. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good to go. And now, the easiest way to do this, what I would do if I was you, this is what I'll do. I would write these 5 classes on a piece of paper. Then I would go through and look at these numbers that are in the run column. And then as you work your way down, looking at each of these 40 numbers, just put a tally mark. Put a tally mark next to each of these classes. You're going to figure out how many times fall in this range of 3.12 to 3.84. You're going to see how many times fall in this range. And then after you've tallied everything up by working your way through these 40 run times, then you'll have the numbers right here. And in the interest of time, you don't want to wait around for me to tell you how many are in each class. But I've done this before. I did a dry run, and now I'm doing it for this video. So when I counted it up, I got numbers like this. This is going to be different than yours. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, so if that's all good, that should be adding up to 30. I think this one was 4. Yeah, that adds up to 40, doesn't it? Let's just give that a quick sum. Make sure that adds up. Boom. There you go. There's 40. Okay. Once you set up your 5 classes, once you count up, how many of the times in your run data over here fall into each one of your classes, then this data right here, that's all you need to construct your histogram. So select it like I've done here, insert, and come over here to the charts. Okay, we're going to want a histogram, so we'll take one of these. So click on here, and we want ours to look something like, ooh, I want the bars to be touching. So let's start with that and see what we can get. Up here we've got some options. What's down below? Oh, nice. So pick one that you like. Pick a histogram chart that suits your fancy. The closer those bars are, the better. I like that one. You pick one that you like. And then once you have it, you can move it over here. You can scale it down if you want. If I made that a little smaller, I could squeeze it up in here. Okay. Either way, it's fine. You guys get a chance to customize your graph however you want. Notice that I've got the frequency of each bar marked there. Then the class limits are at the bottom of the bar. Excel does a pretty decent job of making these charts. So Hopefully that helps. Remember, you start out figuring out the minimum and the maximum. Take the difference of the min and the max and divide by 5. And that gives you your class width. Okay, and that came out to be 0.73. So we just add 0.73 to the starting point, 3.12. Just keep on adding up until you get to the top of your 5th class, which means you're going to have 6 numbers. And then over here, build your classes from here. 3.12, we just went up to 3.84. And then the next one went up to 4.57 and 5.30. That way each of the classes started at these numbers. And then finally, the top class went from 6.04 to 6.76.